From Darling Stadium in Hampton, WHCS Cable Channel 46 presents Group AAA Football. From the Eastern District, Norview Pilots, and the Peninsula District, Bethel Bruins. Good evening, everybody. I'm Tim Cole along with Bob Hintz. We welcome you to Darling Stadium for tonight's contest between the Pilots of Norview and the Bruins of Bethel High School. Bob, these teams met last year. I know when you had a chance to talk to the coaches, you talked a little bit about that, but let's just up front mention the fact that last year Norview had a 7-3 team, went to the playoffs, got beaten by Heritage.
That's correct.
But during the regular season, in fact, the opening game of the season, these Bethel Bruins upset, if you will, Norview 8-7.
Yeah, and it was a game where there was who made the least number of mistakes was probably going to win, and both coaches have talked about that when I interviewed them and when I've talked to them in private, that you want to make as minimum mistakes as you can. We watched the game last week, and Kickintan turned the ball over 5 times, got beat. Well, you cannot win many games and turn the ball over 5 times, and both of these coaches know it. Was talking with the head coach of Thomas over at Norview, and he said, you know, I got a young team. They're untested. Got a JV quarterback that is now my starting quarterback. He's a sophomore, but he's got some kids that are pretty good. He's got a good tailback. He's got a tackle who's real good. So, you know, he's got some stability there. But it's going to be a game that, you know, maybe whoever gets the momentum first.
Well, of course, the first game of the season for both of these squads, and, of course, that's always something that the coaches dread because they don't know exactly what to expect, especially when you have a young team like Norview does. Now, Coach Parker, second year over at Bethel High School, he's got a little more foundation to work from. He's had an opportunity to work with the coaching staff, and I know I won't tip that away, but I know you talked to him about that during your interview. But he's got a couple of young men that are now going to be starters. Ananias Boyd, who I understand may not start tonight, but he will see some action, and Josh Lyle at quarterback. And let's face it, your team has to revolve around the continuity of having a stable offense, and Josh Lyle, I think, is going to help them out.
Oh, absolutely. And he's they're real high on this young man, and they feel real good that he's going to be able to be a leader on the field. Talk a little bit about Ananias Boyd, hurt during the practice games and in practice. In fact, when I talked to Coach yesterday, he told me he's not going to play. Tonight, he says he'll see some action. You know, it's amazing, these young men, and I'm not just talking high school, I'm talking pro and college. They can be hurt all week come game time, but you know, you just kind of put away that hurt a little bit and just play with aches and pains because you don't want to miss a chance to get out there and help your team.
Well, a little while ago, Bob had a chance to talk with the head coach of the Norview Pilots, Carlton Thomas. Let's go back in time right now for that interview.
I have the coach for the Norview Pilots, Coach Thomas. And, Coach, last year, good season, 7-3 during the regular season, went to the playoffs, got beat by Heritage, they were a good team. You guys, young, got a lot of speed from what I understand. Tell me a little bit about your team.
Well, like you said, we have a young team, inexperienced, a lot of 10th graders. I have a big question mark in my mind about how these guys are going to react to the game, night's game. Sophomore quarterback. Matter of fact, both starting quarterbacks that we had from last year are not with us. We have the starting quarterback from the JV team, wow. But they went undefeated, so he's a player.
Well, that's good. That's good. So do you have some seniors or some people that have been around a while to give you a little bit of a core, a little bit of a group to kind of help lead the youngsters?
Yes, and I'm glad I do. We have Ottawa Anderson, who's probably one of the best receivers in this area. He'll be wearing number 4 tonight, along with Dominic Bagley, who will be playing some offensive tackle and defensive tackle. Seniors like Demetrius Chambly, and we'll have a senior starting at tailback too, Ira Pickney. So hopefully those guys will pick those fellas up.
Well, and you do. You need that stability on the field and help the youngsters get acclimated to what's going on. Mm-hmm. What do you expect from Bethel? You played them last year, close game. In fact, some people thought you should have won. Of course, they're happy they did.
That's right. Well, we thought we should have won, but we just made too many mistakes. I think one of the things that's going to be a key to tonight's game is who makes the few mistakes. And like I said, with the young guys that we have, there's that question mark. So I'm just waiting to see what happens, actually.
Well, listen, Coach, good luck to you tonight.
Okay.
Good enough. Stay tuned. We'll come right back to Tim.
Coach Thomas, of course, kept getting a smile on his face each time there was the thought of, well, what's going to happen? But, you know, any team, even a veteran team, never knows for certain what's going to happen. But with a young team, you really don't know. And like you said, of course, it's kind of a trite cliche, the team that makes the fewest mistakes has the best chance of winning, but it boils down to that. And when you've got two inexperienced teams, that's the most important part.
And it really is. And he did. He smiled broadly when he said the big question mark, how are they going to react to it? But it is. This is different than a practice scrimmage. This is different than practice. You don't know that opponent. You don't know that if I get out there, is he going to knock me on my tail the first time, or am I going to get the upper hand and maybe set the tone for the game? So you don't know how these young men are going to handle it. The coaches are going to do everything they can to pump them up and tell them this is what you do. You're the one that should get the first lick in, let them know you're going to be there all night. It's going to be a long night because you got to play against me all night. You know, they're doing all these things to get these guys pumped up, but when they walk out there and a guy blows the whistle and they kick the ball, they forgot everything you told them.
Well, of course, they have great motivation, does Norview. They want to avenge that loss last year. They only lost 3 times, and one of them was to these Bethel Bruins, so they'll be up for that, I'm sure. Again, right now, let's go back in time. We had a chance to talk with head coach Tracy Parker of the Bethel Bruins.
I have the second-year head coach for the Bruins, Tracy Parker, second year. Got a good staff. We talked about this earlier, having a staff that you can count on. And that really makes a lot of difference. You went 5-5 last year, and you know you want to improve on that. But talk just a little bit about how important the staff is that you have.
Well, we felt it would be very important to get more coaches onto the field, get more involvement with the kids, and having more people out there would give us an opportunity to cover a lot of mistakes we have missed in the past.
Well, you know, and that's got to make you feel good, because then you can be more of an overseer and be able to put your input in it, but you don't have to, you're not stuck with the linebackers or the ends or whatever. You can kind of rotate and move around and see what's going on.
Right. It does give me an opportunity to be an actual head coach where I can move around and critique and do some of those other things that head coaches do instead of actually coaching a position.
Right. Now, everybody talks about Ananias Boyd, and he got banged up in preseason. Mm-hmm. We'll see some action tonight, but it's not going to start. But you have some good kids, this Wood kid at linebacker. So you've got some kids coming back that really helped you last year that I know you're expecting to become leaders this year.
Right. We went through some growing pains with some young kids last year, and we're looking for them to step up this year and do a really good job for us.
Well, good. Well, listen, I know it's always good to get this first game underneath the belt, and I'm sure your kids are looking forward to it, and are kind of anxious.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right.
Are the coaches?
We're ready.
Okay, good enough. Stay tuned for tonight's starting lineups.
Back here at Darling Stadium, Tim Cole along with Bob Hintz and Bob Killen, our statistician for tonight's contest. Tonight's football game brought to you by Zooms, with 6 convenient Peninsula locations, and in part by Parklawn Wood Funeral Home. Bob, we've got, as we mentioned in our pregame discussion, we've got a couple of young teams tonight. The Bruins very much improving, 5-5 last year. Tracy Parker doing a great job over there, following the legend, Kozlowski, after all the years he put in there. But should be a pretty good game. Looks like both of these teams will be competitive tonight.
Yeah, I think they will. I think we'll see. Definitely, Bethel's got some speed, especially when Ananias Boyd is in there. But this Lyles kid's at quarterback, Tim, I think you're going to see that he is a real good kid. He's 6'2". He's pretty good size. He'll be able to look over some of the linemen, and that always gives you an advantage when you can spot those receivers downfield. What Bethel's going to come out doing tonight, they're going to play a 6-2 defense, similar to what Hampton does. 6 down linemen, and they'll move their linebackers around in different spots. But now we're going to see for the second week in a row a team from the other side using a 4-4, and that's what Norview is going to do. They do the same thing that Bayside did. They're going to have 4 down linemen, Tim. They're going to have 2 inside, 2 outside linebackers, and they're going to be mixing them up and trying to guess where Bethel is going to go, and they'll try to get into the gaps and stop them, and it'll be interesting.
All right, let's go down to the field for the introduction of the officials.
Meet the Norview captains. Captain Anderson, Pinckney, Chambliss, and Marlin. You guys like to shake hands and introduce each other? Okay, gentlemen, any questions for me before we get started? started tonight. I want a good football
His
game.
mic is cutting on and off.
Football's all about, but I want good sportsmanship. Okay, no taunting, no like that. Everybody is on it? All right, cool. Okay, now we had the coin toss. Bethel won the coin toss and deferred to the second half. Norview, you had your choice. You chose to receive. You're going to receive. You're going to Bethel, you're going to defend that goal right there. Okay? Norview's back here with me. Norview will receive this half. All right, gentlemen, give me a handshake. Give me a good ball game. Good luck.
All right. And there you heard it, the pregame ceremony. Bethel deferring to the second half. Norview will receive the ball. Bobby, you and I were down in the field earlier. The breeze was blowing from our right to our left as you look at the field. So I find it interesting that they're going to kick in the direction they are. There are the officials, Mick McCullough, the longtime referee. Our umpire is Dan Clemencic. Tom Chisman is the linesman. Gary Roby is the line judge. John Patrick, your field judge, and Maurice Wheeler is the back judge with this veteran crew.
Well, they got Bethel is really kicking into the wind, if there is. But if you look at the top of the goalpost with the flags hanging down, and fans, I want to let you know those are brand new goalposts we got out here. New field, and the field is just in excellent condition. But we could feel some wind, but you couldn't see the flags moving. So it's kind of a swirling, little different of a wind. It's been a weird day today. It looked like it's going to rain, but it hasn't. Not here anyway. I guess they got a little bit over Norfolk.
Keep our fingers crossed. The temperature at game time, mid-80s, but very humid.
Yes.
And that will be a telling factor on these teams this evening, I think. It's not 98 degrees or anything, but boy, is it humid. You and I were just sitting up here in the press box with no breeze, and it's rather
well, we did get a breeze. Remember when Bob started talking?
But we didn't need any more hot air.
Well,
right after.
Want to talk a little bit about the coaches real quick. The head coach over at Norview is Carlton Thomas. He's assisted by Brian Becker, Russell Barcliffe, and Gordon Renfro.
All right, for the Pilots, this one is taken at the 13-yard line by Ottawa Anderson, the speedster for this squad, and he is out across the 20 to about the 23 or 24-yard line. See where they mark it exactly. But that's where the Pilots will start.
Great in special team coverage. The Bruins got down there real quick. And we see Norview at quarterback. We're going to have Jordan. The fullback is Ross. Pinckney is the tailback. The flanker is Anderson. Split end Tolliver. Tight end is Chambly. The center is Foster. The guards are Green and Bagley. Tackles are Butler and Turner.
Now I know why you wanted to do them. They didn't have any tough names to pronounce. And now
oh,
I see
you just catch on real quick.
Method to your madness. 24-yard line. First play, you want to throw the ball. They complete it to Anderson on the right side, and that'll be a pickup of about, looks like they give him about 4 yards.
Tim, that's a great move to get your young quarterback into it real quick.
All right, for the Bruins on defense, Hairston and Solomon are your guards. The tackles are Watson and Ellis. The ends, Perry and Siles. Jordan, Wood are the linebackers. Whitehurst and Johnson the corners, and the safety is Kenny Clark. Second down and about 5 yards. Again, to the air, and this one completed at the 35-yard line. It would appear to be enough for a first down as they mark it on the 35, and they will move the chains.
And that's Gary Tolliver, Tim. He's 5'8", 155, just a sophomore. Watch the replay. They've just doing a quick hitch. Runs down, turns, and comes maybe picking up 5 to 6 yards, and going to make the Bruins bring their corners up a little bit. And then they're going to hope they can get down. I got 2 wideouts to the bottom and a split end at the top.
Quarterback is sacked. The ball came loose, and they say the Bruins got it.
How about that big 73 for the Bruins, Tim? Joe Solomon, what a great job he did.
Looked like the ball came out after the player went down, but the official was right on top of the play, and they ruled a fumble and a Bruin recovery. Now here are the Bruins on offense. They have Davis at center. Hairston and Lewis are the guards. The tackles are Waterton and Vines. Leto is the tight end. Haywood is the split end. Wide out is Keene. Holloway is the fullback. Hamilton the tailback.
And Josh Lyles is your quarterback, and he is the young man you see right there in the center of your picture. Great shot from our sideline shot. Ron Baton down on the sideline tonight.
First turnover right at the beginning, and of course you don't want that if you're you got a young quarterback out there, but nobody, it looked like, picked up Solomon when he went through that time.
Lyles keeps on the quarterback option, picks up about 2 yards. Let's call it second down and a long 8. There's the Norview defense.
Okay, Chambly and Bagley are the tackles. The ends are Green and Pierce. The 4 linebackers, Ross, Pierce, Anderson, and Pitts. The corners are Martin and Jordan, and the safety is Anderson.
Second down and about 8.
Bruins got a double out to the right side of the field.
Lyles back to pass. Has some time, found some running room, but it closed down very quickly. Nice defensive recovery by Cleveland Pierce, number 30, to stop him after a short gain.
Yeah, looked like he might pick up some yardage on that play. Watch the replay. He steps up into the pocket. Great job. But 30, the guy did not hold his block long enough, and you're right. Number 30, Williams did a great job of picking him up. Picked up maybe a half a yard.
Third down and long, third and about 7. Set up receivers to the left side this time. I formation. Give to the tailback, and he is across the 25 to about the 24-yard line. That would be Gabriel Hamilton carrying the ball. Gabe Hamilton. Let's give him Gabriel is the way they spelled it out, but I think Gabe is the way he wants to be referred.
We'll call him as Gabe. Tim, he's the one that's starting tonight instead of Ananias Boyd, but I don't know what kind of a field goal kicker they have, but it looks like to me that Coach Parker is going to go for it. They got, looks like, about 4 yards, isn't it?
4, almost 5. Yeah, this will see whether or not they try the hard count here and see if they really are going for it, and they are. Just a quick hitch, completed the pass right at the first down marker. It looks like it'll be enough for a first down.
Oh, I tell you, good job on the young man that caught the ball that time to make sure he got it. Who was that, number 7?
Derek Banks, the receiver, just went down to the first down marker and turned back there. You see it, just a quick.
Tim, he was on about the 21-yard line and got it across to the 19. So a lot of that was his own individual effort.
Lyles looking over to the near side for the play, and now it goes back to the huddle. So a fresh set of downs, 8:43 remaining in the first quarter, just underway. Bethel with the ball for the first time after the turnover. Looks like a little bit of confusion. Now Lyles will take the snap. Play action fake. Lyles has some pressure, rolling, looking. And now unloads it and gets unloaded on as number 73 for the Pilots. And a late flag comes down. 73 is Dominic Bagley, and he just plowed under Lyles.
It was. He said it was intentional grounding, I believe. Talk about the coaches. Let's listen to Mick first. He kind of threw that out of bounds, and nobody in the area, I guess.
I will say he had a very large lineman, number 73, Bagley, at 6 foot 240, breathing down his neck. But Coach Parker does not agree with that call.
Grounding on the offense. 5 yards, loss of down. Loss of down.
Okay, Tracy Parker's the head coach. He's assisted by Creighton Incremenius, Michael Brown, Michael Corey, Gary Singleton, Devon Hill, Jonathan Dean, Steve Elliott, Jerry Jenkins, Levi Winken, Kroner, Travis Holt, and Ernest Banks, and Miguel Incremenius. Yeah, we're hearing Mick real good, aren't we?
Handoff in the backfield to number 33 for the Bruins. That's Ryan Holloway. And picked up yardage to about the 35-yard line. But again, that penalty was a huge penalty because not only was it a 15-yard penalty, but it was from the line of scrimmage and a loss of down. So that's...
No, it wasn't a 15-yard. It was only a 5-yard from the point of an infraction, I think. Because did he say a 15-yarder?
Well, it marked off 15. That's what I was going.
Well, he said 5 yards, but I think it's from the point of where he threw the ball.
And a good opportunity for us to have that clinic we're talking about, which shows some of these rules. Nick was talking about wanting to do that. Play action. Lyles has some time, throws in a crowd, batted up in the air, incomplete. 3 Norview pilots around the intended receiver, Banks, and it bounced off of Banks and fell to the ground, incomplete.
Well, that brings up a 4th down. Watch the replay. He had great protection that time, but just overthrew his receiver. Bring up a 4th down, and who's our punter?
Who's on first?
And I think our punter is our quarterback.
Josh Lyles is in deep punt formation. So always the threat to do more than just punt it. Although Lyles will, in fact, kick it away. And this one will go into the end zone for an automatic touchback.
Well, the Norview pilots feel they dodged a bullet because they sure gave Bruins great field position. And, Tim, I saw some lightning way off in the distance coming straight down.
As long as it's way
over there.
It doesn't look to be anywhere near us, and of course we all know what lightning does. It causes your Sunday evening to be rather boring when you're looking forward to the Virginia Tech contest.
You got that right. We will pick a player of the game from the Bethel Bruins this evening. That player received a plaque and a shirt. The plaque comes from Engraving Inc., located at the Tab Square in Route 17. For all your engraving needs, contact Jim at 596-8850. Dave Buckwalter is the owner.
Pilots keep it on the ground, and a fumble, another fumble, and the Bruins get it right back.
Tim, number 73, caused the fumble again. Hit that young man right good, and again, Joe Solomon is impressing me.
Brian Jordan came up with the loose ball.
As we watch the replay, you'll see how he gets through and boom, just hits him. Tim, the shirt comes from the Islander Sporting Good, located in Pocosin. They can meet all your sports needs with a full line of athletic goods, both team and individual, equipment, uniforms, plus screen printing. Call Dave Chubb at 868-8467. John Roberts is the owner.
Well, we talked about it. First thing we talked about, team that makes the least amount of mistakes, and 2 already, and this one even deeper into Pilot territory. Now the Pilots do call a timeout. So they will take a timeout. That's their first, and it comes with 7:29 remaining in the first quarter.
Well, we might want to turn on some lights later on. You want me to go? I'll go flip them on.
You want to do that? I'll tell you what, while I get this chance, let me tell the folks about the Bethel High School cheerleading squad. They've achieved many things in recent years, and they are the 4-time district champions, the 2-time regional champions, and they were 3rd in the state in 1999 and 6th this past winter. Among those accomplishments are 7 cheerleaders who, while attending camp at North Carolina State this summer, were chosen as All-American cheerleaders. While this is truly a great honor, they also have the opportunity to attend the NFL Pro Bowl in Honolulu, Hawaii, to participate in a halftime show. So they need some chaperones. You and I are ready to go.
Well, we told them we would go in a heartbeat. Now, Donna can't go.
Now, while they're there, they're also eligible to compete. That's not easy to say. For college scholarships, the trip is to include sightseeing at Hawaii, but they have the financial aspect of the trip, which will help determine who will actually be able to attend the event or not. If you or your business is interested in making a donation to help them fund this trip, and I'll get back to that in just a second as we watch the action on the field. Got a good block to turn the corner, flag down, close to the 10-yard line, but a penalty flag, and it'll probably be against the Bruins.
Tim, it may be clipping, and you're right. I think either blocking in the back, whatever. But
anyway, let me finish this. If you or your business are interested in making a donation to help these cheerleaders, help fund their trip, you can make those donations to Bethel High School, care of the All-American Fund. And these young ladies would greatly appreciate your financial support.
Well, that was number 30, Tim. William Fraser showed some real ability to move, but another big penalty when the Bruins are down there within scoring range and set them back.
Clipping on the offense. 15-yard penalty. Repeat the down. Still first down.
So they mark it out at the 33-yard line, and again the down to make is at the 7-yard line. So it's a huge setback here. Lyles, short drop over the middle, got the pass completed to the 20-yard line. Nice look in at 24, Curfew Spite, I would assume. And again, we apologize right up front if we mispronounce some of these players' names. Please, we would love to hear from you. If you can correct us, we'll be glad to make sure we pronounce them correctly. We get the rosters and try to do the best we can.
Tim, that looked like about a 10, 12-yard pickup, but a nice look in. Good timing pass.
Second down and a dozen. Lyles gets a block, has some time, but throws it. Oh, almost picked off. Threw it in a crowd, and quite frankly was lucky to get away with that one because the Norview Pilot defender had a beat on it.
He had a better shot at catching that ball than anybody else. Watch the replay.
That was Derek Williams. Now Lyle does a good job here of getting free, but throws into a crowd and just about got it picked, but got a break. Third down and 12, got a penalty flag on the play. So
well, if there's, it's
this is going to be a benefit to the Bruins. Let's listen to Mick McCullough.
A personal foul, roughing the passer on the defense, automatic first down.
So a huge
First and
break
goal.
now. The Bruins get the break as they get a first down inside the 10-yard line, first and goal. No score here, 6:21 remaining in the first quarter. Game taped for your enjoyment on the 1st of September, the year 2000. Hand off to Boyd in the game for the first time. Ananias Boyd.
You got to go.
Decided to reverse his field, but that was not a good move.
No, it was one of those things where it took a little longer to set up. The hole was plugged. He dropped it out to the outside and then tried to reverse his field. And the Pilots are pretty quick. They're small. They're not as big as they have been in the past, but good quickness. Looked like he got maybe back to line of scrimmage. Now we got a penalty.
All right, so the Bethel sideline warned to back away from the field, but there's no penalty on that. That is a warning. Threw the flag to make sure they understood. All right, at the 14, between the 14 and the 13, again.
Oh, he did. I'm sorry, Tim. He lost about 5 yards on that, didn't he? Because they were at about the 9.
Yes, he sure did. Lost almost 5. And this is the tailback Hamilton, and he's stopped cold on a nice defensive play by, again, Cleveland Pierce, number 30. So the Bruins now looking at third down and goal at the 15-yard line. So the offense still unable to get uncorked here.
The only thing that's looked real good so far has been that quick look into the wideout. Number 13, Anthony Marlin was playing up real tight on the guy, but this time he's back.
Hamilton carries to the 11, and that brings up fourth down, and we'll see whether or not Tracy's going to bring on the kicking team. Looks like he might be bringing on the field goal kicker.
And I think that's Joe Solomon is the PAT man. Man has caused both fumbles.
Well, we may be premature in that assumption. Let's just see how they set up here. It looks like they will try it, and that is going to be Ryan Holloway, who will try a field goal from the 19. This would be a 29-yarder, and this one is going to be wide left.
Tim, Joe Solomon.
I'm sorry, not 33. I thought I saw it differently. You're right. It's absolutely right. Solomon, Joe. And that one was pulled to the left. So the Bruins squander a second golden opportunity. Twice they've had the ball inside the Norview 25 and have been unable to capitalize. This one, just as you can see, he shanked that one to the left.
Made a couple shots like that today, I think.
I don't want to hear it. I was working today.
Tim, next week we'll be right back here again with the same Bethel Bruins when they will play the Kickitan High Warriors. We have the Bruins 3 weeks in a row. Week after that with the Hampton Crabbers. Bethel will host all three of those. They'll be the home team all three of these games tonight and the next two against Kecoughtan and then Hampton.
Clock moving with a little more than 4 minutes left here in a scoreless first quarter. All the action has been to the right side here in the Norview Pilot end of the field, but fortunately for the Pilots, they've been able to hold after those 2 turnovers. Second down and 10. Got a man open, and that's Ottawa Anderson. He had the defenders beaten, but couldn't come down with the ball. That was a nice-looking attempt on his part, stretched out, but just couldn't quite bring it in as James Jordan led him just a little too long.
Tim, but he really put that ball about where only one was going to catch it was going to be, who was that? Anderson. What a nice throw, but you see the speed. 2 Bruins were there, but he just blew right by him.
Yeah, that ball had just been thrown about a yard shorter. He might have gone all the way. Yep, he's the one that Mr. Thomas is real high on, Coach Thomas over at Norview. Jordan rolling to the right, throws incomplete. That one almost picked off by the Bruins. Number 3, Kyle Whitehurst was there, but it was too far for him to get to.
Well, it was intended for the other number 3, Gary Tolliver, but it was a little high. Tolliver is only 5'8". You got to get the ball down a little bit for the young man. Now we're going to have the first punt of the game. No, it is second punt of the game.
Yeah,
Bruins got the punt one time. So who we got punting? Looks like number 1, James Jordan, quarterback.
So both teams use their quarterback as their punter.
And who do we have deep for the Bruins? I can't catch his number.
Turn sideways, will you, young man? Looks to be. It looks like it's number 24, I think. That would be the aforementioned Spite. Got a return onto the right side. Got a block. 40, 35, and to the 34-yard line. So a nice return, and again, the Bruins with great field position.
You're absolutely right. Tracy's got to be beside himself. He's had 3 golden opportunities now inside with the ball inside the Pilots area, but nice, just one hopper. Watch that block right there. I don't know who got number 2, but nice move there.
34-yard line is where they mark it. Speaking of the field, Bob, I was down there, and this field looks even more gorgeous than it did last week.
You wouldn't think so, would you?
Unbelievable. The condition of this football field is just the best I've ever seen.
Well, they again, I'll tell some of the fans that didn't know, they took 8 inches of crown off of it, dropped it down, put new side on. It's 419 Bermuda, and it's just as soft and nice out there as can be. They put a new sprinkler system in. We got new goal posts. Looking good down here.
You could fall down on that stuff and you wouldn't hurt yourself. It's so soft.
And you could chip a ball out just as.
Well, that's what I was thinking. That's exactly what I was thinking. I said I can just imagine how that ball sits up real nicely, and you can just wouldn't even take a divot. Hamilton, and he's got a first down across the 20 to the 19-yard line.
Nice run that time by Hamilton.
Don't forget now, before, during, or after the game, you need some fuel for your car. Citgo Zooms. That's where to go. Here's your replay. And if you want some food, good food.
Good food. And you can attest to the good food.
Beantown coffee. They got Krispy Kreme donuts. They've got those potato wedges, fried chicken, pizza, subs. They got it all at Zooms, and I'm hungry.
Counterplay, but
Counterplay did not fool them.
Well, I don't know if you noticed that the inside linebackers got real close to the line of scrimmage, and it was like they were right in the gap where the counterplay was going to go.
Well, that's something that you have to stop to realize sometimes. It's not that the play was not a good play. It's that the other team had the perfect defense for that play, and it'll make your play look really bad, but that was just one of those cases where it was the wrong play called against the defense. Second down and almost 12. Hamilton on the pitch, and what a job this number 2.
Whoa.
What a defensive play by Dante Anderson. My gracious, he's just a sophomore for this Norview team, and he just played that perfectly. You can't play defense better than that.
Watch out, he just knocks the blocker out of the way right there, just knocks the blocker.
Drives the tackle.
and made a great tackle.
Beautiful. You know, when you're a coach and you're drawing it up on the board and you say, now here, I'm going to run a tape and show you how to do this. That's
the
what they
tape you'd show, wouldn't it?
24-yard line. It's 3rd down and 14 to go for the Bruins. Again, on the verge here. Had 3 golden opportunities. This is the 3rd one. Let's see if it's the charm. Lyles sidesteps the tackler. Now has plenty of running room up the middle. Cuts back nicely. Down to the 10 to the 9. That'll be very close to a first down. It would appear to be a 1st and goal. Josh Lyle with some fine footwork there.
He got it. What a nice scramble by Josh Lyle. Right here looked like he may be in trouble. Made a good, and just decided, listen, I'm going to run, and seemed to be doing a little sliding out there, Tim, and that may be because of the humidity.
Well, and I talked about this last week. This grass, as beautiful as it is, it's a little on the slippery side because it's so much grass. You know, it's so thick that it's hard to get your cleats into it. 1st and goal for the Bruins. This is Boyd. Ananias Boyd down to the 6-yard line. Mark him at the 5. It'll be 2nd and goal. Bruins have had 3 great opportunities, 2 after turnovers, and are knocking on the door now at the 5-yard line, as we may have seen the last play of the first period, as there's time running out, 2 seconds, 1, and that will be the last play of the first quarter. And the officials all now realize that, and that will conclude the first 12 minutes of action. And we've had plenty of action. The Bruins have been in Norview territory the whole first quarter and have 2nd and goal when the second quarter begins.
Well, if you're Norview, you're thinking, wow, I'd like to get my defense off and give them a breather. They have really been on the whole time, and Tim, they may be a tailing point later on in the contest when you get into the 4th quarter, and if your defense is out there and they're a little tired, it may be because they was on the field so much the first quarter.
As we mentioned, not a hot night, but real sticky. I understand last night you fellas went over and saw Kempsville and Hampton. I heard the humidity was a little high over there last night too.
It was high everywhere. Zooms has given an award to the senior football player on each of the teams this year who have demonstrated academic excellence. These players will receive an award, which will be a plaque, and it'll be presented during the school board meeting at the end of the season. We want to thank David Allen and Zooms for their continuing support to the WHCS and to our student athletes.
Bob's got this really cool phone here. It looks just like a internet screen. Hello?
Hello?
Hello? Tim Cole, Bob Hintz, and Bob Killen coming to you from Darling Stadium. Second quarter just about to get underway. Bruins had a missed field goal and have had a couple of opportunities, and let's see if they can capitalize now. 2nd down and goal, the ball at the 5, and now a flag comes out.
If we have an offensive man that put his hand down and then came back up, it's going to be 5 yards against the Bruins.
Well, it's
lined up in the neutral zone.
All right, so apparently one of the Bruins on the line lined up in the neutral zone and went into a 3-point stance and committed the infraction.
Tim, you had 2nd and goal from the 5, or from the 5, and now you're 2nd and goal from the 10. That
drives you crazy if you're a coach.
The little mistakes really hurt.
Boyd to the line of scrimmage, and that's all if he got that.
Well, you see what the Norview pilots are doing, Tim. They're really stacking the people up on the line of scrimmage. They're saying to the Bruins, you're not going to run this ball in. We're going to make you pass it because we figure we're fast enough we get to the outside, but if you try up the middle, we're going to have it stacked in there with our inside linebackers. So
they're going to make them go outside.
That's exactly. And going outside, their defense is quick enough that they figure that they can contain them.
3rd down and goal at the 10. Wide receiver to the near side. And we've got another flag. Delay of game.
They want to make it interesting for you, Solomon.
So, tack on 5 more.
Don't tell me that. I can see. It's curfew.
I know you're not talking about me.
So, back up 5 more to the 15. And the Bruins headed in the wrong direction.
They really, really are.
Two
and
penalties.
They can take them right out of any attempt to field goal range.
Well, let's see how Josh Lyles works this one. Wants to throw, steps up in the pocket. Now has some running room, getting some pressure, and throws deep in the corner of the end zone. Incomplete. Just over the head of his intended receiver. That would be Michael Lito.
Well, I'm going to tell you, number 99, Tyree McFarland, 5'10", 176 sophomore, was right on his, right in his face.
Here's the replay.
Good job of stepping up and avoiding, but look at this pressure right there.
Oh, yeah. So now it's 4th and goal. And we'll try another attempt. Joe Solomon. And again, I apologize for not recognizing his number the last time. This will be a 32-yarder. And this one is up, and it's not going to be long enough. So the Bruins have 2 attempts, but a penalty flag down on the play. And it's against the Bruins, which I would assume the Pilots would refuse since they'll get the ball.
Illegal procedure on the offense. Declined.
So the Bruins, who's quite frankly, the penalty flag has been their biggest enemy here, has taken.
They have been their biggest enemy. You're right.
So they have once again failed to score after having excellent opportunity. That last one, a 2nd and goal at the 5, and that was as close as they'd ever get. They backed up to the 10, another penalty back to the 15, and loss of some yardage on a running play. So Bruins offense sputtering right now, but they've had some great opportunities. Now let's see if the Pilots can capitalize on the defense. And the Bruins don't wrap him up, but they finally get him after a short game. Carrying that ball rather precariously was Ira Pinckney.
Well, Tim, big number 73, Solomon, was right in his face, and I thought he was going to catch him. He got a hand on him, but that young man showed some ability to scramble and get away from the Bruins never could wrap him up. He was just too elusive.
But if you're the coach, Thomas, over there, you said, wait a minute, we've already dropped 2 balls that the Bruins have gotten. Wrap that thing up, because he was carrying it out there real precariously.
If you're going to start going wide, you got to protect the ball when you're going to get hit.
No gain on the play, 2nd and 10. Jordan feeling some pressure, rolling, looking, and completes the pass at about the 27-yard line. That'll be a gain of about 7.
Well, I'm impressed with Jordan's ability to throw the ball, Tim. He was rolling to his left that time, put the ball right on the money. Watch this replay. Nice, just a fake right there. Roll, nice throw. He's, I don't know what his, how many he's thrown and completed, but first 2 plays from scrimmage he's completed passes.
Well, I'll bet you Bob can tell us.
You think so?
I bet you.
Good job that time by Jacob Foster, number 51. Met the runner right at the line of scrimmage. In fact, may have lost a half a yard or so, but we got another punt situation, Tim.
Jordan punting, also 3 of 5, by the way, for 18 yards. He hadn't thrown anything long, but he had been connecting on 3 out of 5 attempts. Jordan in deep punt formation, standing back inside his 15. Nice high kick, fielded at midfield, and that'll be where they'll get the ball as he's dropped immediately. That was 24, curfew spiked. So they marked the ball just across midfield. Let's call it the Norview 49-yard line. And the Bruins, again, every possession they've had has been in Pilot territory. 8:45 remains here in the first half. No score. Bruins have had 2 missed field goal attempts.
And too many missed opportunities.
Norview has yet to get the ball past their own 35-yard line. Blitz coming. Bruins picked it up quite nicely. Lyles has just screamed as he completes the pass, but if Josh Lyles isn't buried at the 45-yard line, he might be able to play another down. He just got absolutely run over.
That was, I think, number 84, Demetrius Chambly.
Watch this replay. I mean,
two people hit him.
He got the big time in your face, but to his credit, he hung in there.
Picked up 8.
The pass.
Picked up 8, Tim.
Picked it up and marked the ball at the 41, gain of 8. 2nd down and 2 for the Bruins, and Lyles probably wondering who's going to answer that phone for him. I mean, really, to his credit, he is up and standing over center because that was a nasty, clean, hard hit. And now we've got movement. It looks like the left defensive tackle, looked like 75. Butler might have gone a little early. Let's see whether he was drawn off or not.
Dead ball, encroachment, defense. 5-yard penalty.
So that'll give the Bruins a 1st down.
Well, you know what's happened sometime, Tim, is the Bruins have been coming up going on a certain count. Maybe it's on the first noise or whatever, and then all of a sudden they go on the 2nd count. And Butler was ready to go on the 1st count because that's what you've been doing. But that's a good quarterback and coaching that time. You get them, don't get the defense, keep them guessing, keep them back on their heels.
3 of the Bruins' 7 first downs have come from penalties. Mark it at the 36-yard line. And this time they try the left side.
You hear those pads popping up here?
Yes, sir. Ryan Holloway carries. And that has after the whistle blows conversation with the Norview defender.
We asked him, what would you like on your pizza?
Just bring me a pizza. I don't care what's on. Big boys, both of them. 33-yard line is where they mark it. Gain on that play of a little more than 3. 2nd and 7 for the Bruins. They have had the ball the greatest majority of this first half. We approach the 7-minute and 40-second mark, and yet another penalty flag. So again, if this was against the Bruins, they are just shooting themselves in the foot.
The dead ball, encroachment, offense lined up in the neutral zone.
That's the 2nd time the Bruins have been guilty of that infraction. Move it back to the 38-yard line. 2nd and 12. Lyles again creamed after he throws the ball, and it's incomplete. And again, Lyles just planted back there. These guys are really getting a shot at him, and that could have a telling factor in the long run here. 84, Demetrius Chambly.
That's the 2nd time he's done that.
Yeah, and there you see the pass incomplete right at the corner of the goal line in the end zone there. Brings up 3rd down and a dozen. Clock stops with 7:27 left here in the scoreless first half. Bethel and Norview, first game of the season for both squads. Pilots show blitz, and then apparently actually might have stepped into the neutral zone. So it's been flag day here at Darling Stadium.
But these are things that, you know, the players are causing these things because of their
dead ball,
experience.
Encroachment, defense. 5 yards.
So the 5 that had been marked off against the Bruins shortly ago get it back. Helps them out a little bit. 3rd down and 7 as they trade 5-yard penalties. Bruins Still looking for that first score. They've had 4 possessions in Norview territory and have yet to been able to get in the end zone in any fashion or form. Lyles has plenty of time, but now his protection breaks down and a late flag comes down. So we'll see how this one is called.
Dead ball, personal foul on the defense. 15 from the spot.
Yeah, that's going to be a big help.
Well, that'll be a first down from the spot.
Yep. And they're going to rule that they piled on there, and that's a pretty close call. It was close, but that's the penalty, and that'll give the Bruins yet another first down. So penalties have played a big factor in this first half.
Well, it's played a penalty, a factor both offensively and defensively. For the Bruins, they shot themselves in the foot. Now they got another chance because they would have had to punt the ball or go for it on 4th. And
23-yard line is where they have it down, 1st and 10. On the option, Lyles will never get a chance to
he was
play
wrapped up good.
And once again, number 30, Cleveland Pierce, leading the way.
Tim, you see what he did? When he tackled him, he grabbed a hold of both arms so he could not pitch. He took that option away. Great defense that time by Pierce.
A couple of yards backwards for the Bruins. 2nd down and a dozen. Again, you have to wonder that Norview defense just doing a great job, but they've been on the field almost the entire first half. Could be a telling factor in the 4th quarter. Lyles, short drop, throws, got a man wide open, touchdown!
Oh, man, where did he come from? Big 89, Willis Overton. Somebody did not pick up the tight end.
He might have spotted that upstairs. In the event, Overton on the receiving end of the touchdown pass of 19 yards. No, 25 yards.
And I thought for a minute it was going to be overthrown, Tim, but it was right on the money. We got Solomon in to attempt the PAT.
Mishandle on the snap. Now they'll throw in the end zone, try to get 2, and it won't go. Got a man on the left side wide open who could have caught it.
Well, there was a situation where the holder could have taken the ball, set it up. There was nobody on it. Watch the replay of the score. Here's the young man right in front of your screen right there. Is going to be wide open.
And he was led perfectly by Lyles, who just laid it out there, and he tucked it in for the touchdown. The extra point, no good. So with 5:59 left in the first half.
But he had time to pick the ball up, set up, because there was absolutely no rush.
No, they could have actually gone for the extra point on that. They could have actually put it back down and tried to kick it. But they were so surprised that there wasn't any rush that they tried to make the play. So the Bruins finally able to capitalize on their great field position, and they lead 6-0. You have to wonder in the situation, last year it was an 8-7 game. Can this missed extra point come back to haunt you later on? We'll see how that plays out. Certainly has been a defensive battle so far. All right, this is going to be taken at the 11-yard line.
Number 30.
20.
Oh, is that 20?
Yeah.
Yep.
That is Pinckney, the tailback, who returns the ball out to the 28-yard line. So the Pilots down by 6, and quite frankly, are lucky to be down by only 6. I stopped by Zoom's on the way home tonight and get me some pizza. I'm in the mood for one of those delicious pizzas they got. Maybe I'll get 2.
Not 1, but 2.
Not slices, pizzas.
That's what I was thinking.
And this is Pinckney. He tries to go around the left side and gets close to the 30-yard line, which will be a gain of a couple. See exactly where they mark his forward progress.
Pick up maybe a yard and a half, 2.
Interesting, you know, last week, right at the 30-yard line, so we'll give him 2 on that. Last week we saw the different colored shoes, and I see that again tonight. A couple of the Bruins, one of the Bruins at least, has a yellow shoe, a left shoe that's just yellow, and the other one is black. So.
Or green.
20 ran. We'll try the right side, and Pinckney runs again. This time he gets across the 30 to about the 31-yard line. Gain of a yard.
Brian Jordan, number 41, met him right at the line of scrimmage and picked up maybe a half a yard on that play.
There's the guy I'm talking about, number 35, right in the middle of your screen. He's got that yellow or gold.
It looks, the other one looks almost green, Tim.
Yeah, the other one does look green. Living with the school spirit here. Got the green and gold. 3rd down and 7.
Well, you talk about him and he had to come out. What are you talking about him for?
Hey, I didn't do it. Norview looking for the 1st down. Want to keep this one going. Jordan rolling, looking, has the pass, but it's going to be short of a 1st down. Completed it at the 37-yard line, but needed to get across the 38.
Looks like, who was that, number 80 that made, maybe it's 30. 30 got the reception. And he was tackled by Asa Cook, number 4.
So it's 4th down, and they actually give him a little less progress. 4th and 2. And,
well, they're going to go for it.
Well, they appear to be going for it. I would watch the hard count here. You don't want to give the ball back to the Bruins with better than 3.5 minutes. Watch the hard count. Stay down. Thank you very much.
You picked that one up real good, Tim.
Well, all right, we'll be right back to Darling Stadium for the conclusion of the 1st half after this brief timeout. Ball marked at the Norview 36-yard line, 4th down and 2. Norview came up to the line and looked like they might go for it, but quite frankly, that's a pretty big gamble. You're only in a 6-point game. There's no reason to make that feel that short for the Bruins.
Not at this point in the game. If this was the 4th quarter with 3 minutes to go, then yeah, you might do that. Again, we got Curfew's Spite back deep to return this punt that from James Jordan.
Apparent punt, I guess you might want to say. Always a threat. And a bad kick off the side of his foot. You have to be just careful. It gets a good roll for the Pilots. And they'll down it just inside the Bruin 40. Got a big break there. Rolled 8 or 10
sure
yards.
did. Tim, first time the Bruins have been in their territory with the ball.
What I started to say was you have to be very careful because with a punt that goes just a short distance like that, you've got linemen down there. You see the crowd, that ball bounces, in the direction you're not anticipating and it brushes against the Bethel player, then that's a live ball. So worked out well for the Bruins. They get it just shy of their 40-yard line. They've got 3:29 left here in the 1st half, and I believe they've only used 1 timeout. Timeout's not on the scoreboard tonight, but I believe they've used 1 of their 3. Lyles wants to throw. Receivers all tied up. Does finally find an open man at the 45, almost the 46. That's the aforementioned Curfew Spite. Pickup of almost 6.
Well, I'm impressed with Lyle. He's getting a lot of pressure on him, Tim, but he's not panicking. He's stepping up and keeping his eyes and head up to look for the receiver.
2nd and 4. Again, back to pass. This completed at the 48-yard line, short of the 1st down by 2 yards, so it'll bring up 3rd down and short. Clock moving with 2:40 remaining.
Nice pass that time, Tim, but he threw it behind him a little bit. Good job of the receiver. Was that Spite that got the ball that time, 24?
Yes.
He had to come back for it a little bit and wasn't able to get the first down, but great job that time of looking the ball into his hands.
Lyles, and he just throws that one over the head of his intended receiver, and quite frankly, that was a good decision. Mike Lito was the man, but he was blanketed by the Norview defender, and fortunately for the Bruins, they just able to throw it into an area where no one could get it without drawing the intentional grounding, I might add. So the clock stops with 2:17 remaining, and now the Bruins will bring on the kicking team. That possession went just a little too quickly for Tracy Parker's liking, I'm sure. He would rather not have given that ball back to the Pilots here in the first half. But that appears to be the opportunity. Lyles is the kicker.
He had a nice rush on him.
Yep, he got it away. And it goes out of bounds at the 26-yard line of Norview. So the Pilots will have an opportunity here. They've got at least one timeout. I believe they may even have two, but I know for certain they call that one when they come up to the line, and I think they might have called another one. But at any event, enough time if they can air the ball out. Ball marked at the 26-yard line. Clock will not start until the snap of the ball, since it went out of bounds. And a flag down and a loose ball.
And the Bruins come up with it.
Bruins have it, but now let's see who the penalty is against. The Bruins got the fumble and another recovery for the number 41. That's the
Captain.
at least the second time. That's Nick
Illegal
Davis.
motion here. You decline, it's your ball. Decline.
So
Illegal
Davis.
motion on the offense, declined. First down, green.
So the last thing you wanted to have happen if you're the Norview Pilots has occurred.
Wow. Tim, is that 3 or 4 turnovers?
That is 3. 3 fumbles by the Pilots.
And who got that one that time? That was
Davis again. The same man that came up with it the last time, or at least he's the one that came off to the sideline with the ball in his hands. Now,
well, then let's say
he's the one.
Is that Nick Davis, number 61?
Did I say? No, 41. Brian Jordan. 41. Too tall for Mr. Spite. I think I said 41 and then gave the name Davis, but in fact it's Brian Jordan, number 41.
Okay.
And that's the second one that I've seen him come out of the pile with. Incomplete pass stops the clock with exactly 2 minutes remaining. Bethel 6, Norview nothing. 2 minutes left in the first half. Bruins have had all the opportunities, but to this point have only been able to score the 1 touchdown and miss the extra point.
Nobody in the backfield.
And movement now, where they drawn off was the only question.
Yep. The Bruins are clapping, so that looks like that might be what the call was.
Okay, we got one. We got dead ball, encroachment defense, 5 yards. Repeat the down.
So you heard referee Makula, and that moves the ball 5 yards and shortens up that second down situation.
Sure does.
No time off the clock either.
Hey, it was about where he'd have completed the pass.
Right. Lyle, and he will be wrapped up with no chance to do anything with the ball, as in on the play was number 52. That's Daniel Pierce. I don't know if he's related to Cleveland Pierce of the same last name, but in any event, the Pierce boys are doing a pretty good job on defense tonight.
Well, we have a timeout. I think the Bruins have called this one.
They're looking at 3rd down and 8 after the loss of yardage on that play.
Talking about the young man that got in there and made the tackle, Tim, looked like he came in virtually untouched. I don't know if he was an outside linebacker coming in there or what.
Well, you know, Bob, you know, you've been a coach and you know what this is all about. The first game of the season, you got missed assignments. You've got, you know, like I thought you had him, and before, you know, it makes the defense look really good. But these are things that the coaching staff will then go back next week and they'll go through the films or the tapes, if you will, and try to correct these things.
Well, see, they got a 4-man front, Tim, 2 tackles, 2 in. That was an inside linebacker that time. So that means that he can probably move from the guard, the gap between the guard and the tackle, or move outside to the tackle in the end or somewhere, and he moved around and nobody picked him up. He basically shot a gap, came in and wrapped up Lyle before he had a chance to even look downfield to find an open receiver.
Okay, let's bring him in, Green. Bring him in.
We will pick a player of the game for the Bruins tonight, and that player receive a plaque and a shirt. Plaque comes from the Islander Sporting Goods out in Pocosin, and the plaque comes from Engraving Inc. in Tab.
3rd down and 8. Entire Bruin team came over to the sideline to discuss the options. And we've got an end around. This is Spite, and there's a clip. They may have picked up. Yes, they did. It wasn't bad enough. He wasn't going to get yardage, but there was a clip, and it was pretty obvious. So that one just took a little too long to materialize. Watch the replay here. You can see they had a pretty good fake on it, but there you saw the clip.
Yeah, there was no doubt about the clip.
So adding insult to injury, Bruins had already had a substantial loss on the play. But that was not a dead ball foul, so they'll have the option of taking the play.
Yeah, because it was not dead ball, but I wouldn't take the play because that puts the Bruins clear back at the, look like about 33.
Clipping on the offense. It's a 15-yard penalty from the end of run right here.
Oh.
It's going to from the ball, not from the flag, from the end of run.
Well, see now there's something I didn't
Behind the basic spot.
Goes back to
3rd down.
Mick, can I get a word in here?
But that's good. I'm glad he's doing it because those are some things we didn't know. It became from the end of the run, not from where the infraction was. So that's a good penalty. That's about a 25-yarder.
There's 2 things that I didn't know. I thought that the penalty could only be accepted. Well, it's not important. Oh, bad snap. Lyle in serious trouble here. Gets to the outside. And quite frankly, does a good job of getting back to the 40, 44, 45, 46-yard line. He was in serious trouble after that bad snap from center.
Back in that shotgun, Tim, you got to have a good snap. If you have to move around and lose a second or a fraction of a second, you're in trouble.
So let me see if I got this penalty thing right here. The penalty is from the point of the infraction or the point of the
from the end of the run. And in that case, he was running backwards.
Okay.
The penalty was maybe 5 or 6 yards upfield from where the young man was tackled.
Lyle gets a nice high kick. Fair catch called for at the 10-yard line, and Jordan makes the stop there for the Pilots. So with 43 ticks of the clock remaining, I got to tell you, if I'm the Norview coach, I take a knee here. I want to get in the locker room. I want to reorganize. I don't want to take the chance of giving this ball back.
See what they're going to do come out second half. The Bruins are going to receive. Right. They've got the option, so they'll probably take the ball. Norview said, okay, let's work this way. Let's kick off. Let's make them turn the ball over down at their end of the field. Maybe we'll get some. We will have the advantage during the second half.
I don't do anything fancy here. I just run the ball.
Last thing you want is a turnover. And here we go. There goes number 4 with the, and that was a reverse.
Yep. Well, that's why I'm up here, and he's down there. But I would have played this one very cautiously. And I guess that was a rather safe play. There wasn't a whole lot of stuff going on.
You got a handoff.
Yeah. I would have taken a knee here. I'm telling you, I'm down 6 points at halftime with 3 turnovers deep in my own territory. I got to be thanking somebody that I'm only down by 6.
Right, and you have yet to get on into Bruin territory with the ball.
That's right. You're 90 yards away now. This should be the last play of the first half. Jordan wants to pass it, and he throws it up for grabs. Got a chance for a run back. You've got to take it all the way because there won't be any time left on the clock. And Norview dodges yet another bullet as the time will run out here in the first half. And that'll be the 4th turnover of the first half by the Norview Pilots. So we have ended the first half. Our score is Bethel 6 and Norview nothing. And we will return to Darling Stadium for the third quarter of action after this brief timeout. And he will not go all the way. Back here at Darling Stadium, the two teams have returned to the field, and we have some halftime statistics for you. The Bruins leading 6-0 at halftime, and offense, quite frankly, has been scarce for both of these teams tonight. But for the Bruins, they have 16 carries for -8 yards. Of course, you throw the sacks into that, and then you have that situation. 16 carries for -8 yards. 8 first downs for the Bruins, however, as they completed 8 of 13 passes for 73 yards, and they were penalized 6 times for 57 yards. So it seemed like every time they started to do something positive, they would get the penalty. Willis Overton scoring the only touchdown of the first half, a 25-yard pass from Josh Lyles to Mr. Overton. 65 total yards in the first half for the Bethel Bruins. For the Pilots, they had 1 first down. They had 3 first downs, fumbled the ball 3 times, and had an interception. They carried the ball 11 times for -6 yards. Jordan, the quarterback, completed 4 out of 8. And he had 1 interception, total yards of 23. That means they had 17 yards total offense in the first half.
So they completed 4 of 8 passes, and Tim, 2 of those passes were completed in the first 2 plays of the game.
Right.
And then he went to, it seems like he just got away from that, and that may be what their game plan was. But I was impressed with their little sophomore quarterback, James Jordan. He's 5'10", 170. I thought a credible job throwing the ball, but they just never got the chance to get inside across the 50-yard line. So at this point in the game, they're saying, okay, well, let's kick off and let's see if we can't stop the Bruins and let us get some good field position.
Their defense has played very well, as evidenced by the fact that the Bruins have just the 6 points, and they had 3 consecutive possessions inside the Norview 30.
Yeah.
In the first half, but couldn't put it in the end zone, and missed 2 field goal attempts that were, makeable. They weren't chip shots by any means, but they came up with just the touchdown, and it's reminiscent of last year's game between these two teams when the Pilots, hosting the Bruins, lost 8-7. So I don't want to be a soothsayer here, but boy, when I see him miss the extra point, you come back and you think, I wonder if that's going to come back.
Well, it could come back, 7-6 kind of a game. Exactly. But you're right. Two field goal attempts that were not completed.
So the Bruins will get the ball to start.
And, Tim, we will pick a player of the game from the Bruins this evening, and that player receive a plaque and a shirt. The plaque comes from Engraving Inc., located at Tab Square on Route 17. For all your engraving needs, contact Jim at 596-8850. Dave Buckwalter's owner. The shirt comes from Islander Sporting Goods. It's located in Pocosin. They can meet all your sports needs with a full line of athletic goods, both team and individual, equipment, uniforms, plus screen printing. Call Dave Chubb at 868-8467. John Roberts is the owner. We appreciate those two gentlemen helping us out.
All right, Anderson with an onside kick, and the Bruins very alert to it.
61 was headed backwards, Tim, Nick Davis, and made a great change because the ball's got to go 10 yards. And it just did go 10 yards.
Just did go 10 yards, and that was, of course, as any fan knows, that's a live ball. Davis pounced on it, and the Bruins, once again, have the ball inside Norview territory, albeit on the 49.5, but it's see ourselves. Yes, we do.
Oh, well, there you go, Tim. Why don't you watch that monitor more?
I'm watching the field.
Oh.
They weren't doing anything. I look at the monitor for replays.
Bruins,
right.
nobody in the backfield.
Makes you think it might be a pass. Lyles picks up a couple. The ball comes loose. Wonder if it was after the whistle. The Norview pilots say it was not, but the officials have yet to signal. Now I guess the officials are now going to discuss
whether the ball came loose before he was down.
Yep.
No fumble. Ball was dead. He was down on the ground. Down by contact.
So referee McCullough
Second down.
explains that quite clearly. And that was close, but I thought that also was the case earlier when the ball came loose. It looked like the player was down. So it's just a matter of when that whistle blows.
Well, yeah, and Tim, it also makes a difference whether his knee is down. Now, he could be tackled and be sitting on somebody and being ready thrown down. He's really not down yet.
So the Bruins get a break, and then we've got whistles and...
Look like we have premature movement somewhere.
False start.
Yep.
Prior to the snap on the offense. 5 yards, repeat the down.
All right. No.
Just knew it was going to be like this.
All right, the Bruins backed up into their territory now. Second down and about 12, almost 13. Lyles gives to Boyd. And the banged up Ananias Boyd gets yardage down to the 45-yard line. So that's a gain of 7.
Picked up more than they lost on a penalty, but had he not had a penalty, Tim, he would have picked up the first down.
Boyd playing injured, as you mentioned in our pregame conversation 2 days ago. Boyd was not going to play at all. Then today, all of a sudden, they're going to try and play him, and he has played sparingly. And if he's at 100%, he's exciting to watch. Lyle, short drop pass, got it complete at the 41-yard line. That'll be about 1.5 yards short of enough for the first down. The pass completed to Banks. Derek Banks on the receiving end. They mark it at the 41. 4th down and a long yard for the Bruins. It appears that they're going to go for it. Certainly their defense has done a good job of containing the Pilots. 10-10 left here in the third quarter. Bethel 6, Norview nothing. Lyles gives to the big fullback, and he does not appear to have the first down.
Depends on the spot. If it's right on the 40, Tim, I don't know that he's got to get across the 40, doesn't he?
No, he does not have it. He needs to cross the 40. You can see the yellow marker at the top of your screen, which is about 1.5 feet past the 40, and he did not make it. So good job by the Norview Pilots defense preventing the Bruins from the first down. They'll start from their 40. About as good a field position as they've had in this game.
I'm going to tell you, they got to feel good. Defense did the job. They stopped them.
Their defense has done the job all night. The Bruins, with that one pass where they found the tight end open over the middle. This is Ottawa Anderson. We were told he's exciting, and that's a good demonstration. He's all the way down to the Bruin 44-yard line. 2
Bruins had a shot at him just after he caught the ball, and he sidestepped and split the defense. Watch this. He just backs up almost like a lateral here. In fact, Tim, I bet that was a lateral.
It appeared to be very close to one.
Tough to bring down. Very exciting.
First down for the Pilots. That's just their 4th first down, and 2 of their 4 have come via penalties. Flag down now, and now they're going to blow the whistle and say the play was blown dead before it got underway, and we'll see how they call this one.
Well, it's a good thing they did, because there was a fumble on that play.
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense. Repeat the down. Down.
So penalties have just been the story of this game in many regards.
Well, you're going to get that early on, Tim. You're going to get premature movements. You're going to get lining up in the neutral zone. You're going to get the lineman to go down and say, hey, what's it on? You know, and he pick up his hand after he's gotten his three-point stance and things like that. And those things will tighten up, and you won't have so many the second half of the season.
Jordan rolling, looking, and just gets it away, and off the fingertips of his intended receiver, Tolliver. Really, Tolliver should have had that.
Yeah, and
he looked downfield and didn't put that ball away.
He was looking to where he could run, Tim, and he is madder at himself than anybody else. And you can see him hit his thigh pads. He was so mad.
Not a big guy, only 5'8", 155-pounder, and he knows he had an opportunity there to get some yardage. Second down and 15. Clock stopping with the incomplete pass. 9:08 to go in the third quarter. James Jordan on the pitch.
Nice move.
Oh, a wonderful move.
Oh, what a nice tackle by number 41, Brian Jordan.
That was an excellent play, and that's the young man right now that has my eye for player of the game. Mr. Jordan has come up with a couple of fumbles, and then right there played a real good job of defense as he stopped what appeared to be a play that could have gone for some big yardage. Watch the replay here. And he just got a hand on him because there was some running room going on there for number 20, Pinckney.
Well, he did a great job of avoiding the first tackle. He made a nice little inside move and then brought it back outside, froze the defender.
Mark it at the 46.5. Jordan, good job of being picked up on the blitz there. Now Jordan throws in traffic, almost had it picked off. Both of these quarterbacks have lived on the edge tonight, throwing into crowds.
You said that right. I'll let bring up a fourth down.
And once again, the Bruin defense, you know, we've talked about some of the ineptness and the penalties, but the Bruin defense has done a really good job of shutting down this offense. So that would bring up fourth and long, fourth and about 13. And of course, Jordan, the quarterback, is also the kicker. And they might just go for it here. I'm not sure. Both defenses have done the job.
They really have.
So let's see how this.
Well, they're not in punt formation. Again, you got to watch out for what you talked about earlier, trying to draw them offside. But
that doesn't give you a first down. So I got to think they're going to go for the first down here. They're running it. Going to look for the pass. Jordan throws incomplete, and that was better off had the Bruins not intercepted it, because more than likely they would have been downed there. Whereas in this case, they get it all the way out at their 47-yard line. So the Bruins hold on downs, and they get the ball back with 8:09 left in the third quarter. Pilots just have had no offense tonight. They've just been absolutely stagnant.
And they've had some flashes of what looked good and could be some offense, but it's just they're just not getting the continuity. And again, you got a young team, and I'm sure the coach is thinking about that.
Bruins from their 47. This is Boyd. Boyd across midfield to about the 48-yard line, a pickup of 5.
First good running play in which there was a nice hole for Boyd.
Do we know what his injury is? Or?
No, the coach didn't offer, and I didn't ask him what it was, but it could be an ankle. But it was enough that he didn't think he would play tonight.
Bruins in Pilot territory, something that they have done a lot of tonight. But they only hold a 6-point lead. Good job of picking up the blitz by the fullback, but then the pass for Spite is incomplete. Double coverage on the near side.
Well, that's a pass that Spite will tell you he should have caught. It went right through his hands. But you're right. Somebody picked up the blitzing linebacker. I don't know if we had that on replay, but that was a great job of one of the backs.
I can tell you what.
Okay.
That was Ryan Holloway, the fullback. He just stepped up beautifully. He saw and that's not this is one of many times. Watch the blitz. They got two guys coming, and Holloway slowed him down and allowed Lyles to at least have the opportunity to throw the ball. But Holloway's done a good job of blocking tonight. Lyle, 3-step drop, throw, got it complete at the 46-yard line, but no forward progress after that as the Bruins cannot move it forward. The defense doing a good job of coming up. Pass was completed to Lito, Mike Lito, number 84. But that also will be a 4th down. So now it would appear that the Bruins will bring on the kicking team. I'm getting hungry. This Zoom's delivering.
I tell you, and I'm getting hungry because you're getting hungry.
The Zoom's delivered. Well, I ate lunch about 12:30, and that's the last time I had anything.
We got nobody over here, Tim. Uh-oh, here he comes. There was nobody picking up the whiteout over here.
Lyles just got it away. Good pressure by the Pilots. A fair catch for, and it's not caught. That ball is loose. It looks like the Bruins have it. Once again, let's see how this is called.
Number 4 got it, Tim. That's Derek Banks. Oh, no, Asa Cook, isn't it?
I don't see a penalty flag, but I see the officials huddling. So let's see what this is.
Well, I thought I heard a whistle.
We have an inadvertent whistle on that play. Inadvertent whistle. Whistle blew before player possession. We'll replay the down.
Ooh. Oh, that's a huge break for Norview.
Really?
Look at there. See that replay showing the heads-up play, but the inadvertent whistle. Now, we had a reference to an inadvertent flag last week, which we were corrected on. There is no such beast.
Beast.
All of a sudden, Mick's microphone isn't working. At any rate, we know what happened. He explained it already. An inadvertent whistle, which, of course, you know, players let up as soon as they hear the whistle. They're supposed to, so you never know what might have happened, but it did appear as though that inadvertent whistle had little to do with the end result, but you can't unblow the whistle. I think this is the way the saying goes. There you go. Hey, look at all those fans in the stands here. Good crowd on the Bethel side tonight. Out here on a warm, muggy September night. And that one wisely will be not touched by the Pilots. So instead of the Bruins having a first down deep in Norview territory on the fumble, the inadvertent whistle causes a break for the Pilots. That would have been their 4th fumble.
Wow.
And their 5th turnover. But what it wasn't was a turnover. It didn't happen that way. Big break for Norview. Let's see if they can capitalize on it. They've been unable to sustain a drive tonight. 6:13 left in the 3rd quarter. Game coming to you from the brand new, just gorgeous football field here at Darling Stadium. Ball carrier for the Pilots is Pinckney, number 20. He's a senior, 5'10", 178-pounder. But again, the Bruin defense has just done an outstanding job of containing the Pilot offense tonight. They just have not allowed them to get loose. Yeah, biggest play was that pass play to Ottawa Anderson a while back.
Well, that was just almost like a flanker screen.
But other than that, it's been pretty much the defense dominating this game. And another fumble. Let's see how this one goes.
No indication who got the ball yet. And now there is. It will still be Norview Pilot football.
I know the coach over there is just saying, wait a minute. Coach Thomas saying, oh, hang on to the ball, fellas. I know the first two fumbles were caused by Joe Solomon. Great job of hitting the ball carrier and causing the fumble. Jordan is got recovered two of them himself, right? Number 41.
Got an end around.
And he's got some room.
And he is chopped down at the 44-yard line, but that will be a Pilot first down.
Nice call. Sucked everybody inside.
Got a penalty flag down, however. Imagine that. This flag downfield, so we'll wait and see if one of the Pilots. Yes, that's what happened. So the Pilots guilty of a clipping penalty on that run. So the fine gain will be wiped out, and it'll be 3rd and long instead of 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line.
It was from the point of the infraction, Tim.
Clipping on the offense. Still 3rd down. Repeat the down.
See, now instead of 3rd and whatever it was, like 8, it looks like 3rd and about 6.
So that one marked from the point of the infraction, I would assume. So the Bruins get a break. See if they can capitalize on it here and hold the Pilots. Jordan has time, throws, had a man open and just overthrew Ottawa Anderson. So that will now bring up the 4th down, and the Pilots will have to kick.
And that was a good pass. We got looks like an injured player on the field. Hope it's not too bad. It looks like he's holding his left.
No, it looks like it's only
right leg.
Right leg.
Yeah.
Well, while I have that opportunity, Bob, let me again make the fans aware of this this little thing going on here. Not so little, I guess you'd say.
Well, to the Bethel Bruins cheerleaders, it's not little.
No. The Bethel High School cheerleading squad has achieved many things in recent years. They are the 4-time district champions, 2-time regional champions, and they were 3rd in the state in 1999 and 6th this past winter. Among these accomplishments are 7 cheerleaders who, while attending camp in North Carolina State this summer, were chosen as All-American cheerleaders. While this is truly a great honor, they also have an opportunity to attend the NFL Pro Bowl in Honolulu, Hawaii, and to participate in the halftime show. While they will be eligible to compete for, while there, I'll get it right yet. Whoever wrote this is not an English major. While there, they will be eligible to compete for college scholarships. The trip is also to include a tour of the historic area of the Arizona Memorial, also known as Pearl Harbor. They will all be fundraising to try and earn money for this trip. For some, the financial aspect of the trip will determine if they can actually attend the event or not. If you or your business are interested in making a donation to help their fund to take this trip, you can make donations to Bethel High School, care of the All-American Fund. And I know they'll appreciate your support. They're going to be working hard this fall to raise money for that. The Pro Bowl is in February, as we see the injured player Dante Anderson being helped off the field. Looks like he might be all right. The cheerleaders, by the way, I'll give their names, and hopefully I won't mispronounce them too badly. Ashley Lane, a sophomore. Sarah Navin is a senior. Levon Walker is a senior. Deborah Murphy, a sophomore. Dinah Mayott, I believe that is, M-Y-O-T-T, is a 12th grader, as is Christopher Epps and Chris Jackson. So got a couple of guys along with these 5 cheerleaders, and they will be raising funds to go. Block kick, the Bruins block the kick, pick it up, take it in, touchdown.
That's number 14 that picked it up, but he's not going to block it. I wish we could pick it up. That's Brian Bates who got the touchdown, Tim. Bruins did a great job of going for the block.
So that defense that's done such a great job all night long comes through with a special teams play.
And if I'm the Bruins, I'm going for 2. Perhaps I'm not. It looks like Joe Solomon's in there to kick. Kyle Franklin, number 10, is the young man that comes in and centers for the point after.
Some confusion about.
I don't think they have enough players on the field.
Looks like the Pilots
Norview.
Yeah. They can play with too few. They just can't play with too many. See some of the crowd looking on. The extra point is up and good. So the Bruins on the blocked punt and the touchdown. Here's your replay.
I never got a chance to see who did it, but Joe Solomon was close there. Number 54 was in the area. That's Jonas Watson. One of those young men got a hand on it, and that's what happened. Zooms is given an award to the senior football player on each of the teams this year who has demonstrated academic excellence. These players will be awarded plaques at a school board meeting after the season. We want to thank David Allen and Zooms for the continued support of WHCS and our student athletes.
So the Bruins defense, which has done a great job of stopping the Pilots, now do some scoring of their own.
Well, that's special teams, Tim. You've got some calls on that blocking the punt. You've got different formations that you can run from blocking the punt, and they got 3 or 4 guys right up the middle.
$13-0, 4:17 to go in the third quarter. Bruins trying to give Norview back-to-back losses. This one taken at the 15-yard line. And out to the 29, a 14-yard return. So the Pilots will start from the 29-yard line.
Tim, have they had the ball in Bruin territory this game?
I don't think so.
And that's got to eat at the coach, too. You have got lousy field position the whole game.
Well, I think they did. On that pass to Otto Anderson, they brought it down inside.
Sure
That's the one time that I can recall that they were in Bruin territory. And Jordan is decked and then throws the ball. That should probably get him an extra flag, and it will. There's 2 flags down, but we'll see who the first flag was against.
Justin Wood was the young man. He's one of the linebackers for the Bruins and is one of their leaders. He's just a junior, but he wrapped up the
dead ball on him. Right. So we're that way and this way. You want to walk them or just put it down and mark them? They're not offset.
You're listening in there, and unfortunately it's breaking up.
Give both signals. Give both. There. Okay. And we have a live ball and a dead ball.
And a face mask call against the Bruins, but then we had the dead ball foul, unsportsmanlike, against the Pilots. So they'll mark one off and then mark one off.
Well, it just ends up in the same place, doesn't it?
I think so. I guess they just offset. In essence, you heard them saying we mark it off, but the fact of the matter is 15 yards one way, 15 yards the other way puts you right back where you were.
Yeah, that's why I said they got 4th down up there. It's not 4th down, it's 1st down, isn't it?
No. Well, there seems to be some confusion about that too. So the officials will gather.
Here, we were just discussing whether or not we were going to have the first. $15 back, right. Close to the same spot.
Okay, because we don't first and 15s, right? Okay, that's the deal.
All right, so that's where we are. It's fourth down. Well, no. First down, is that what you said?
Yeah.
First down.
Face mask against the Bruins and dead ball first against.
Okay, dead ball unsportsmanlike here, which brings the ball back to the identical spot. So.
Well, we apologize unless our reception is different than yours. He keeps breaking up. So, but in essence, what happens is nothing. It goes back to first down.
Yeah, nothing happened.
Yep.
It was almost like no play.
Exactly. Offsetting penalties. And the Bruin defense smothering.
You got to be impressed with the Bruin defense. They have allowed very little yards running at all, except that end around.
Yep. Just two good plays is all the Pilots have been able to perform against the defense. That end around and then that pass to Anderson. Second down after no gain on that play. 2nd and 10. And we've got movement.
Yeah, number 84, the tight end over here.
We won't call his name. We don't.
No, well,
prior to the snap, false start on the offense.
He had a different count in his head than when the ball was going to snap, and
I've gone through life like that. Always being on a different count.
Is that right?
15 penalties for 132 yards. Against both teams, or
15 penalties against the two teams for 132 yards. So it's been a pretty much a flag day here at Darling. It's not even June. Jordan has some time, has the ball tipped, and goes incomplete.
And that looked like number 58.
And a late flag. That'll be for
kicking. Yeah, he kicked the ball, and that was not good.
Ticky-tacky. So.
If the back guy didn't call, how would you call it?
We have a dead ball, personal foul here.
He was breaking on the ball.
And Tracy Parker says.
What in the world? He was breaking on the ball. He didn't call it. Come on, Blue.
Sideline camera picking up some of the boom mic, picking up some of that stuff.
He didn't kick it. He didn't kick it.
I'd love to see the replay. Coach Parker is saying he did not kick the ball. I don't know. You know, I'll just be quiet.
10.
All right, so another first down by the Pilots. Let's see if this is the play. See if we can figure out what happened up here. Here's the ball. Oh, he did kick it. He definitely kicked it.
But it looked
but he didn't go out of his way to kick it, which would be the foul that you intentionally kicked it.
Yeah.
If you threw the motion of following, watch, yeah, okay, watch this, and he didn't make an attempt to kick the ball. He didn't follow.
He didn't follow through.
Yeah.
But he did go out, come off his left foot. And that was a pretty good shot if you're a soccer player. I thought that was a pretty impressive kick.
And a pretty stupid penalty. I mean, come on, call the ones that really count. So anyway, 2:47 left in the third. He did kick the ball. I will agree with it. That's right. Put him in a penalty box for illegally kicking the ball, and then we'll move forward.
They play with 10 players, right?
That's right. That would be a good way to do it. That certainly changed the complexion.
Yes, it would.
All right. Not much happening there, and credit the good D here. Let's pick out some numbers.
Number 58 is the one that was the first one that got my eye, Daryl Jones, Tim. He was all over. Didn't let him go anywhere.
So at the 39-yard line, 3rd down and 10. Neither team exactly displaying an offensive attack tonight. And do I win an award for an understatement there, Bob?
I think you get an award.
Jones rolling, flag down, imagine that, and completes the pass. Cross midfield into Bruin territory. The pass was completed to number 3, Gary Tollifer.
That could be holding.
The hand
Yep.
on the offense.
When you see a flag thrown in that part of the play, you're usually going to get illegal use of the hands. And the quarterback's rolling out. You grab a guy and you hold him in. That's a penalty. And you're not going to get by with it too often.
See if we can pick it up on the replay here.
But illegal. We'll repeat third down.
Well, I didn't exactly see the holding, but
well, it's not necessarily holding. Sometimes it's pushing
illegal,
the
yeah,
back.
yeah.
You know, it's illegal use of the hand somewhere. And
I guess I correct myself. I didn't see the infraction. I didn't see any of it, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen. I just didn't see it on the replay. But again, imagine that. Another penalty here. Norview going in the wrong direction. Third down and 20. And, yeah, we got another flag. Get the local number for the Zooms down the street here because we're going to need a pizza. This is going to be a long night.
Killen he's got the phone. Just have him dial 411, get a number, and send us a pizza.
Call 911. This is an emergency.
I'm sorry. Hold it.
We're going to have to.
Was Greens? Prior to the snap, encroachment defense. Encroachment defense. Repeat third down.
So the initial indication was incorrect. It was not against Norview. It was against the Bruins.
The Bruins were there first. Right. And sometimes when you're first, you win. Right?
And then sometimes you don't.
I got something to tell you about winning and being first.
Jordan overthrows and almost had it picked off. He was lucky that Kyle Whitehurst didn't get it because it was just a little too tall for him. Otherwise, it would be turnover number 5. Yes, sir. All right, that is now 4th down and about 17. And I think Jordan's going to kick it. This is bordering on the longest single quarter we've ever played, Bob. I just want you to know that. In case you hadn't already realized it. It is still the third quarter.
It's still the third quarter. Tim, we've had a lot of different games in our 21 years.
Yes, we have.
You stop and think about it, we've had games that's been, wow, what a short kick.
Yeah, look at that. That might be a real short kick and a real long run back. And he's just nabbed at the last second. I look around to see if he got any hankies down. I do not see any. There we go. You were headed towards a thought here.
Well, yeah, and the thought was, you know, we've had games in the rain. We've had them in the snow. We've had them with water up to our ankles and everything. Watch this replay. But what's neat about football is never is there a game that was like the game we've done before, right? I mean, you got to admit that there's a lot of different things that happen in 21 years.
This
is our 21st year doing this, and it's been wonderful. Seen some great athletes come through the system.
I've thought about that. I was thinking about that the other night, as a matter of fact, before our first game, and I was thinking, my gosh, if you go back, start to try and name some of the great players we have had the opportunity to cover.
Oh, he went out of bounds. His foot went out of bounds as he was coming back to catch it. Great pass there.
Yeah, right at the end line.
You know, that would be an interesting thing, is to go back and pick an all team for the last 20 years.
Watch the replay here. You won't be able to pick it up very well, but you're going to take my word for it. He is on the end line.
Yeah.
And official right there to make the call. Furthest point from our vantage point, so it wasn't easy to get a close-up of that.
But you know what would be tough? We'd have to go back and look at film because I can't remember all the good players that we've had come through the system.
Just imagine the players we've had for Bethel and Kickintan and Hampton and Phoebus. My gosh. And I start to roll off some names to you here, but I wouldn't want to do it because too many people.
You're going to miss some play. I mean, we've had some great linemen come through here, some great running backs, quarterbacks, defensive backs, tight ends. We've had some real good tight ends in this system. It's just been one of those you'd like to go back and showcase, and sometime when Scotty has nothing else to do, maybe he can go back and pull up some film for us.
Yeah, like between midnight and 4 a.m., something like that, right?
When he can't sleep.
Yeah, when he can't sleep.
Why can't you sleep, Scotty? Well, Bob and Tim said.
You saw a preview of what we're going to have for you here. We're going to have a little cheerleader thing going on here at the end of this quarter, which has 44 long seconds left in it. I got to tell you, this one will not go down in the books as one of the better played games, quite frankly, if I can be so blunt.
Well, and Tim, you can, and you did, and you will.
Because I can, and I did, and I did.
But again, you're going to get this kind of game early in the season. And if you look at Norview's team, as young as they are, most of these kids played on the JV squad last year. That happens. I'm enjoying it.
Oh no, I didn't say not enjoying it. It's just not a game that you can get any flow to. It's just constantly being stopped by penalties, and it's unfortunate, but it happens.
Well, that was a great job defensively that time, and I'm trying to pick up number 52 or 62. 62, I think it was, from Norview, Tim. Nobody picked him up. I don't have a 62. It must be a 52.
It's 52. Let me do the numbers.
Okay.
Commentary. That's Pierce.
But no, he saw nobody in the backfield, so nobody's going to pick him up if he shoots the gap coming from a linebacker.
Now the Bruins are going to apparently try another field goal. This will be into the wind, and I see the little flags on the goalpost indicating there is a wind. This will be a 35-yard attempt, and it's up, but it's not going to be long enough. So the Bruins missed their third field goal attempt. And that comes with just 2 ticks of the clock remaining here in the third quarter. So stay tuned. Now we're going to have a special little thing for you here between the quarters. Bethel Bruin cheerleading squad, the award-winning regional champion, state champion, state runner-up, a lot of those things. They're getting ready for us.
Do a 1, 2, 3 count. You're watching the Bethel Bruins on WHCS TV 46.
So they couldn't even wait till the end of the quarter.
Hey, when you're ready to go, you go.
That's right. Ooh.
That's one of those that you could say, ooh, look what I caught.
Oh, yeah. And that is the final play of the third quarter. It just seemed like it was 2 quarters.
Well, you get on something, you just don't get. Are you that way with Donna?
I'm not commenting on that one.
Just to give a recap of
that was, by the way, that was the 7th incomplete pass thrown by Jordan consecutively.
Wow.
Yeah, he's not having a good night.
Just to give the fans an idea of our telecast schedule, a week from tonight, September the 8th, Kickotan will be here playing these same Bethel Bruins. On the 15th, Hampton High School against Bethel.
Here
again. On Friday the 22nd, Phoebus, our first night with Phoebus, will be hosting Heritage, which should be a good contest. Then the Friday after that, the 29th of September, Phoebus and Kickotan. On the 6th of October, Friday, Hampton and Warwick. Young Mr. Vic is
Hampton and Warwick. What was that date on that one?
October the 6th. You want to get here early.
I'm going to be here for that one.
Yes, you better be.
I'm going to be there for the other ones, too.
October the 13th, we have Bethel and Phoebus. October the 20th, Kickotan and Hampton. And then we finish it out October the 27th, big one against Hampton and Phoebus.
My ears are ringing.
Well,
there are a number of times when I'm here and I'm not here.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you, Scotty's quick to want to line up a replacement. It's kind of dirty in there. You better be careful.
Scotty is giving you absolutely no break tonight.
Pinckney on the carry. He doesn't bother me.
He doesn't bother you? Okay. You heard that, Scotty, from the horse's mouth.
Hey, now you behave yourself. I'll be here for all those games.
And they're all Friday night. They're going to be great contests.
All Friday night.
Kellen will miss one of those games, and I think I'm not sure where he's got it, going to a high school reunion, so we will have somebody that will sit in. He said he will have us a guy doing stats for us.
Still got someone from his high school class alive besides him?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of them.
That's amazing.
I think there's enough for a foursome to play golf.
Have a golf tournament if they can find the fourth guy.
Big guy got the ball that time.
Norview moving the ball now. That's Demetrius Chambly who makes the catch, breaks that string of incompletions that were going on there.
He's 6'3", 210, Tim, and he just looks bigger than that.
Yeah, because there's not a lot of big guys on this Norview team.
Well, but when he got the ball, you look at the defensive backs, how small they are. It made him even look bigger.
Yeah. 41-yard line is where they mark it. The first down for the Pilots. They trail 13-0.
Good job that time by James Jordan, faking a handoff coming to this side of the field and then bootlegged it naked on that side and hit the big tight end.
Jordan says that worked well. Let's try it again. And same intended receiver this time, but it's incomplete. Want to welcome to our fourth quarter coverage the Park Lawn Wood Funeral Home folks, conveniently located at Hampton Center Parkway and North Armstead Avenue. For a tour of the new facility, why don't you stop by or call them at 827-4670. That's Park Lawn Wood Funeral Home. Brand new facility out there.
We got another penalty.
Speaking of where that is, reminded me while they're marking off the penalty, I want to send our condolences to the Tysinger family.
Yes.
Bob Tysinger passed away at the age of 72, a long time big sports supporter here on the peninsula, and of course
one of the reasons Boot Williams is where he is with his AAU team, because of the effort and the financial backing and the support of Bob Tysinger. Will be duly missed on the peninsula.
First down for the Pilots at the 25-yard line. This is Pinckney, and he is nice job of continuing as he picked up a good 5 yards after he might have been taken down. Good job and a good defensive effort that time by the Bruins. That was number 36, Mr. Siles, who made the stop. We'll be right back with the conclusion of tonight's football game after a brief timeout.